At 40 years old, as a young person, like we were taught, like when a woman turns 40, that's it. Baby, she just got started, Hoda.
Have you ever had that quiet feeling, that tug in your gut to make a change, even when it absolutely made no sense? Maybe it's to leave a job, or maybe it's to start over, or maybe it's to say yes to something that scared you. Well, the hard part is not hearing that voice, it's trusting it before you have any proof that it's right. My guest today, Tunde Oyeneyin, has built her life around doing just that. Whether she's teaching on a Peloton bike, writing her best-selling memoir, or encouraging people through her Speak movement, her message is remarkably consistent. Your voice is your greatest power, but finding it means embracing uncertainty, choosing courage over comfort, and learning to trust yourself. So, if you're in a season of change, of questioning what's next, or trying to find the courage to follow your own instinct, I think there's something in this conversation just for you. I'm Hoda Kotb, and this is my podcast, Making Space. Okay, first of all, Tunde, I know about the breaking news. It's your last single summer. So when I first thought that, I was like, oh my God, Tunde is going to go crazy this summer. It's her last summer of being single, but it's actually more than that. Yeah. Tell me what it means. Yeah. What is last single summer?
Well, it's funny that you say that because so many people think that I'm engaged.
Yes.
They're like, you're engaged, and so this is your last hurrah?
Yeah.
I'm like, no. To me, last single summer means you're single. If I was with a man and he was walking around saying it was his last single summer while we were engaged, there'd be a problem, first and foremost. First and foremost. My last single summer, listen, I think a lot of people, when they hear the name, they think it's my hot girl summer, and I'm out.
Yes, you're doing your thing.
Out of the town, do your thing. And what really it is for me is, Hoda, if you knew that this was your last summer that you'd ever spend in New York,
wow,
you'd go to every show you've ever been to.
Yes.
Every restaurant that was on the to eat at list that you've been just like, you'd go. You'd go to every museum, every show, everything that you'd wanted to try that you've been holding off, you'd do. If you knew this was the last summer before you had kids, how would you live it? If you knew that this was the last moment, last summer, before a big change happened in your life, how would you live it? And so I'm living this summer as so this is the last time I get all my time to me.
So, and tell me how you're feeling it. What's happening?
Well, I'm saying yes to things that are easier to say no to.
Okay, give me an example.
So I'm going to, I'm like, how much can I share? Just like trips that I would have said no to because of time. Like I am a little bit of a worker. Like I work a lot. Yeah. And a lot of times I will devote my time off to work another job. Working on another project. So I fill my time off from Peloton with other gigs, right? Because I enjoy the work that I get to do. I love my work too. And so I've had a few opportunities that have come up this summer to just like spend time with myself. Like, yes, there's been opportunities I've had to spend time with my friends, but I've had opportunity to spend time with myself. Some of the time not doing a damn thing.
Is that a good place to be?
I just discovered it. I just got here and I'm like, this is fantastic. I've been taking myself on solo dates. So sitting at the bar, and it's so funny, like, cause I'm very much a person that does things by myself. I travel by myself, gone to restaurants by myself, gone to the movies by myself.
You're okay with that.
But there's something energetically that I think that I'm putting out in this space because I've realized that I've spent so many years. I'm 40 years old. I just turned 40 last December.
Happy birthday.
Thanks. And it's 41's coming up, but I have spent so many years searching for him, and it dawned on me about a month ago. I trust him enough already to know that he will find me. I'm searching for him. Why am I searching for him? He's looking for me. And so I go to maybe like, I don't know, I sit at the bar, I sit at this restaurant, and energetically, I'm not looking. I'm kind of just...
Can we just hit that thing that you just said again? Because I do have chills, which is usually my indicator of truth and all those things. So he's looking for you.
He's looking for me.
Who is he, like, in your mind?
A person with a really gigantic heart. He makes me laugh a lot. Yeah. Like that's our love language. We just laugh. We laugh. He's charismatic. He's witty. He's a good heart, a big heart, a good person, caring person. I always say, like, I love a man who loves his sister. If he has a
That's
sister.
good.
I love
That's
a man who
good.
loves a sister.
Yeah.
Um, he's easy on the eyes. Not bad to look at. And he sees me for who I am, and he loves me for it.
By the way, as you're describing this person,
You know somebody.
you're not searching in your head. You know exactly what you want. You know exactly what you're looking for. And someone was saying to me once, when you want someone in your life, you have to make space for them because some lives are so crowded that we say we want someone in it, but in reality, where's the availability? Where's the availability in the closet, like in your closet? Where's the availability in your time in your day? Like, is there room? Because I know women who are really wildly successful, and one in particular, I'm not going to name who, but I remembered asking her. I said, "Why do you think?" Because she's a famous person, and for some reason men can't find their way in, and it's because. She said it's because I travel. Like, she has a group that's all her, and the guy is kind of always the electron circling. But in other words, it's like there wasn't really room for him to get in. So in your life, do you think, I mean, it sounds like you have some solo time. Do you have room for whoever might be stepping into your world? Because your world is busy.
Now you transferred your chills to me.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that this was a breakthrough. Maybe my aha moment. So my friend Kim, she's always saying, like, many of my friends, I have a lot of clothes. I like clothes. And so, one of my friends was saying, like, why don't you clean out one of your closets to start to physically, actively make space for a man? And I trumped that idea. I was like, I'm not, if he comes, we'll figure it out. I'll get rid of stuff. But for now, I need the space. And so Cody Rigsby, my fellow teammate at Peloton, he said something to me once. He was like, Tunde, you're one of the hardest workers I know. And when it comes to dating, you are so lazy. He's like, girl, you are so busy. You got all these things coming in. You haven't actually put yourself out there in a way, opened up your space to let him in. And I didn't hear it. But I think the reason I'm hearing it right now is because I said that I was saying yes to me. And in saying yes to me, projects that I work on that, they might affect me, right? And they're good for me. It's still not time for me. Yeah. So I said, I've opened up space for me. Yeah. But I didn't realize that I was also then saying, yes, I'm making the space.
Making the space. It's so interesting you're saying this. It was funny. I was with a guy named Joel for many years, and we talked about adoption. And he agreed. We'd filled out all the paperwork and all that stuff. And I said to him, we had a small apartment. It was a bedroom. It was 2-bedroom, and there was a little room in there. And I said, why don't let's keep that room open. We just moved in. And he goes, well, while we wait, I'll just make it my office, just while we wait. Because they said it could take 6 months, six weeks, 6 years, who knows? And I remembered looking at him and I said, we can't. And he goes, why? It's just empty. I said, no, we have to be ready. We have to be open. We have to know that she's coming or he's coming. And literally, Tunde, probably 2 weeks later, and usually this process takes forever, 2 weeks later, we got the call. She's here. And literally, I looked at Joel and he was like, oh my God. It's like understanding in a busy, crowded life, however we carve it out to make room. So I'm looking at you.
God, that's good.
And I'm seeing a wildly confident person. Who were you before confidence made its way into you?
Who was I before confidence made its way into me? It's hard to answer that question because I didn't know who I was. I can tell you how I was showing up. I was hiding. So I'm originally from Houston, Texas. My parents emigrated here from Nigeria with the hopes of the American dream. Provide a life for their children that they didn't have. And so I'm a product of their suffering. I always say I'm a product of their hard work. So my parents, I remember we lived in Houston, Texas. And as my mom saw my brothers getting older and she saw the kind of, the groups that they were hanging out with, even as young boys, she wanted to move them out of that. And so I would say we lived in a middle-class neighborhood, but we were living well above the means that we actually had. We were faking it there. And so I grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood. There were very few Black kids at my school. There were no Black girls that looked like me. I was the darkest girl in the school, and there was a handful of us at that. My mother was probably your complexion. I say that to say I didn't really see.
Right.
I didn't see anybody that looked like me.
Yeah.
I was overweight. I was picked on and made fun of for my hair, the color of my skin, and my size.
Do you remember those pets?
Yeah. I remember like looking, and I would see a group of a table at lunch like making fun of me. I quickly learned to become funny.
Was that the defense?
Yeah. I learned that if I made fun of myself first, then at least I was cool for making people laugh versus being the butt of the joke. And so I would turn the joke on myself.
So you made fun of your own.
Correct. Like I made fun of myself before they could. And then I started becoming friends with the popular kids because at least I was funny. And so even before that happened, I remember at that time specifically, before the cool kids thought I was cool too, I remember not laughing because I felt like if I laughed loud, I have a giant laugh now. If I laughed loud, people would notice I was in the room. And if they noticed the room, they would see my size. I remember just like doing everything possible to shrink myself. If you've ever taken my class on Peloton, you can't, I want to unstrap. I'm dancing so much. I never danced when I was younger because again, I felt like if I danced, then the attention would shift to me and people would see me. And I did everything possible to hide myself. And I remember whenever I first started on my journey with weight loss, I lost 70 pounds. And every time I tell this story, I say that I gained so much more than I lost. I lost the weight, but I gained a sense of self and an understanding of who I am and in knowing that I can do really, really hard things. And I remember as I started to lose the weight, more people were flocking to me. I remember like people that I'd always kind of admired from afar.
Yeah.
These people were finally talking to me. They would ask me, where'd you get your skirt from? Or how'd you do your hair like that? And I spent so many years telling myself that people had finally shifted towards me because I started to look like them. People were shifting towards me because I'd lost the weight. And as I got older, I mean, I still don't know what may be true, but as I got older, I started to question that belief. Tunde, did they start to come around you? Did they befriend you because you started to look more like them? Or was it that you were finally comfortable showing them who you were?
It's interesting, yeah.
I don't think that my personality changed. I think the way that I show up and the way that I presented changed. Like my soul and the essence of who I am is always who I've been. But I suppressed her. I would only show her inside my house. And so, yeah, I mean, who knows what is fully true there. But I would have never imagined this part of myself to be free. Not that I would have never imagined this, who I am.
But to be free.
I would have never imagined her to be free.
When you were younger, because I'm thinking about parents who are listening with little kids in like third grade, second grade, whatever, wherever, when you don't have any way to defend yourself as a little kid who's getting picked on, who's getting bullied, who's, standing there. And I don't know if you went home and told your parents or if you just ingested it and kept it to yourself. But how as a little kid, before you had the defense of, I'm going to be funny now, how did you manage those years?
Yeah, well, once I told my mother, and she followed the school bus to school and marched on that bus and told those kids off. Because they were making fun of my African name. She marched on that. She'd be arrested now for that. Times have changed. But yeah, listen, I also had two older, very scary brothers.
Yeah.
That piece of it was kind of helpful. I can't even imagine what it is to be a parent and how to help navigate that now, because times have changed so drastically. Yeah. Like the bullying that we grew up with, it's
totally different.
Different now.
Yeah.
I think I know what helped me was just seeing myself. I'll never forget the first time I was sitting cross-legged. I was in the living room. My mom was in the kitchen, and I'd never seen Naomi Campbell before. And she walks onto the screen. I'm watching TV.
Dying.
I screamed. My mother cooking runs into the living room. Yetunde, what's going on? What happened? I said, Mom. And again, remember, my mom's your complexion.
Yeah.
I said, Mom. She said, what? I said, she's beautiful. She said, yeah. I said, well, if she's beautiful and she has dark skin, do you think it's possible that I could be beautiful too? As an adult, I realized the weight of that. I can't imagine what I put on my mom in that moment.
What'd your mom say?
She said, yes. She said, yes, hey, Tunde, you're beautiful.
Okay, that's what an epiphany. Yeah. What a moment.
Yeah.
And seeing yourself in somebody is incredible. I love how you turned this whole bullying thing into now I'm funny and now I'm friends. And now, so you were popular in school.
I was on the homecoming court.
Of course you were.
Yeah. Naturally. By senior year, honey, there was no denying it.
Your personality is so insane.
By senior year?
Yeah, give it to me.
Well, at this point now, my mom taught me how to do makeup. I was very much a tomboy. I was always playing outside, playing sports with my brothers. And I think one day my mom just said enough. Because my mom was such a girly girl. Yeah. She was like, you are going to play with me. And so she sits me down and she, at the time, she shaved my eyebrows off. Pamela Anderson, remember the Baywatch eyebrow?
Oh, she shaved them and then
she did. It was within it had an inch. I had a unibrow and I went from a unibrow to like just that. You remember you used to shave it off to draw it back, that pencil back on, the line back on. So she did that to me. And then she taught me how to do makeup. And then, we always laugh because she kind of opened Pandora's box. I went from wearing no makeup to the next day. I came downstairs. I had 17 eyeshadows, 3 blushes I mixed together. And that was kind of what started my love of the art of my love for makeup artistry. And it was funny because later I went on to work in the cosmetic world for 16 years. I became a cosmetic, regional trainer. And so I would train other makeup artists. But I was finally able to, how do I say this? I was very much the girl that people would come up to and say, you have such a pretty face. I will never forget, I worked at Fuzzy's Pizza when I was 15 years old, and a woman came up to me and she said, oh, God, you're so beautiful. Oh, if only you would lose that weight.
Oh, my God.
And so I think makeup was a way that, not that I could hide, but it was a way that I was finally okay being seen. I was hiding myself. And then I noticed that I was good at this thing and people would see that part of me.
Mm-hmm.
Is this therapy?
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is.
Because
this is so interesting to me because you're an extrovert by nature, obviously. Mm-hmm. Every time I hear you say, and then I didn't want them to see me, I was like, you're like the opposite of an introvert, yet somehow that was like your F6 button. I'm going to have to try to stay small. Maybe they won't notice this. If I do makeup, maybe they won't see the rest. If I do all these things. But how did you live that way? I mean, you're such an authentic being. Like,
I knew that I was, it's not that I was containing myself I knew that I was pushing it down, her down.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that I was, but I couldn't stand to face, just like I couldn't stand to face the attention.
Mm.
I couldn't stand to face the judgment. I couldn't stand to face the comparison. When you're a young person, you do everything in your power to blend in.
Yeah.
You do everything in your power to stand out. I think what also helped before it was a love for myself, it was an acceptance of myself before the love came. And I think the reason that I was able to grow to accept myself was because people started to show me there was something to accept. Mm-hmm. As I got older, the thing that people would talk about was what I hated most, my dark skin. People would say, I love your skin. I loved your skin. And then I started to realize maybe I'm beautiful because of my skin and not in spite of my skin. I'll never forget like my turning point with my complexion. I was in maybe, I rode a school bus, so we'll just call it middle school, maybe elementary, one of them. My older brother was already home from school and he was at home, he was playing video games. And I remember that kids had made fun of me at school. There was this guy, I think it was 5th grade or 6th. There was this guy, I don't even think it was that cute, but his friend, I'll make up a fake name, Brian, comes up to me and says, John thinks you're pretty, but he would never go with you because your skin's so dark. Mind you, John was the same color as me.
Oh, my God.
Hoda, John was the same color as me. It was okay for him to be dark, but not for me, not as a woman. And so I blew it off. Oh God, I think that was probably maybe halfway through the school day. And I remember the whole day knowing that I needed to release and cry, but I was never going to let them see me cry because it happened in front of people. So I got on the school bus. The bus makes it to my stop. I get off the bus. And the second I walk in the house, because waterworks, it all comes out, My brother's at home, he's playing video games. I say, Tony, how do I make my skin lighter? And there's bleaching treatments for your skin, and I'm sure that he'd heard that, but not even himself at that young age really knew what that meant. And he said, pretty sure if you use bleach, you can make your skin lighter. So I went into the laundry room.
No, you didn't.
I grabbed the gallon of bleach. I walked upstairs. I turned on the shower, filled up the bathtub with boiling hot water, all steam, nothing to cool it down, because I thought it was going to really need to rip into the skin, so I needed it hot. I poured the gallon of bleach inside, and Hoda, I didn't like the way it smelled. And because I didn't want to stink, that was my concern. Because I didn't want to stink, I said, before I submerged myself, let me just test my hand to make sure this is worth it. So I put my hand in for about 15 minutes to boiling bleach water. And I pulled my hand out and nothing happened. I think about that moment all the time.
Oh my God.
And like the damage that I would have done to myself had I fully gone through with it.
And also just how you felt in that moment that you said, I've got to go to an extreme. I've got to do something. You have gone through so many different seasons in life. And the most difficult one there was a span of 9 years where you lost your brother, your father, and ultimately your mother. I don't know how someone withstands one, and many of us have and will again, but 3 in such a short window. Let me just go with your mother. What did you lose the day that she passed away?
Ooh, I lost my best friend the day she left. I lost my rock. I lost my teammate, because my brothers are a lot, and my mom was like my teammate too. She was like the matriarch of the family, and we all stayed together because of her love. We went through a lot, losing our brother and losing our dad, but our mom lost her son. She lost her partner. And so we were good with each other. We didn't fight because my mom, please don't fight. Listen to this lady. She's been through a lot, right? And so in losing my mom, I knew I was losing my family teammate. And then now being the woman of the family, I knew that I was going to need to step into that place. And so there was even a heaviness in that. When I lost my mom, it felt like it felt like the most rock, I was already at rock bottom, and then it felt like somebody said, here's a new piece of equipment that can blast through even the bottom.
Did you do a whole why me and what's happening and why is this going on? And did you go through any of those things?
I remember when we lost my brother, it was, because you hear stories of athletes, football players, they're on the field, they're here 1 minute, they're gone the next. And you always think how terrible and how horrific for that family. Oh gosh, what would we do if that ever happened to us? You don't even think that way because you can't think that way. And so when it was my family story, my brother didn't pass while playing sports, but he was an athlete his whole life, and it was cardiomyopathy, enlarged heart, and it was just here one moment, gone the next. I remember I wasn't there because I'd lived in LA at the time, and I remember my brothers telling me, my aunt went into the hospital room after my brother was already gone, and she was hitting his leg, wake up, this isn't funny, wake up, this isn't funny. Because to that extreme of it can't happen to you. And so whenever we lost my brother, I just thought to myself, how could this be our family, but not our family? You hear it on TV and you see it on the news, but not our family. And I've heard people say not our family, but really though, not our family. And when we lost my brother, it was 3 years later that we lost my dad. And then it was 3 years later that we lost my mom. And so in that moment, this 3, all within 9 years, I thought, why does this keep happening to our family? And then I'll never forget, the 3-year anniversary after losing my mom, I didn't breathe for I didn't breathe for a year. And I remember I don't remember what year it was. So that was probably, I'm bad at math, Hoda. Whatever year it was, I remember when it was turning the new year. So on New Year's Eve of the year that I didn't breathe, when that year was coming to a close, I was in LA at the time, and I was at my friend's house, and everybody was partying. The second the clock struck 12, I exhaled.
Oh my God.
And I said, thank you, God. We made it through this curse, because that's what it felt like. And I remember looking up, and I was with my friend Tess. She might not even know this, but I was with her. And she saw the release, and she knew I was moving through something. And maybe I told her in that moment. And I looked at her and I said, something is coming. I felt this power in me. In that moment, I knew that my life was going to be extreme. And now that we made it through this horrific, what felt like a sentence on my family, now that I know that this thing that comes in threes is not real, it's not true, it's done, I knew that my life was going to open up to something extraordinary.
Wow.
And it was within that same year that I had what I call this blue light vision. I knew, like, the life that I'm living right now, I saw it in a premonition, a divine download of information. I call it blue light experience because I had just taken my first cycling class ever. I lived in LA at the time, but my job in the cosmetic world had flown me to New York for a conference. And I'd never taken a cycling class, paid my $45. I'm judging myself for paying that much to work out. I sit down, and I remember Kelly Ripa was always on TV talking about like indoor cycling, how cool it was, and sometimes Beyonce would be there. So I'm sitting on the bike, and I hear people screaming, and I think to myself, Beyonce? Is she? And I see that it's not Beyonce, but instead, it's this small woman. She's an instructor, and they're making the noise for her. And I remember thinking it was the silliest thing. Why are these people getting so excited for their fitness coach? Like, judging them. Yeah. I thank God for these people, because this is how I make a living now, and I love you. She walks in, people scream. My booty hurts on the seat. 3 minutes into the class, I'm in a state of euphoria. Have you ever done something or met someone or been somewhere, and the first time you're in this thing or meeting this person, you know there's a soul connection, and you're exactly where you're supposed to be?
That's what happened.
Within 3 minutes, I'm like, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. It's all connecting. It's all connecting. It's all connecting. 45 minutes later, I unclip from the bike. I'm walking back to my hotel room. My walk turns into a skip. My skip turns into a hop. And I have this feeling. I feel, and I see the color blue, and I can feel the wave of the energy. It moves from my fingertips into my toes. It was almost like somebody said, come here. Come here. I'm going to show you something. And it was a 5-second flash. After my very first cycling class, first cycling indoor studio experience ever, I knew that I would be cycling for the rest of my life. I knew that I would be teaching it, because within this 5-second vision, I could see myself on a podium in the front. So I knew that I'd be teaching it. And without even knowing what Peloton was at the time, I knew that I'd be able to impact the lives of millions of people, and a bike would be the gateway.
Okay, this is, first of all, that's incredible and amazing. And I just want to give, so your career that you're currently in, you were in cosmetics.
I'd worked with like Taylor Swift. I can't even remember people now. Kaylani.
Yes.
That world was 3,000 years ago.
Okay, so whatever it was, whoever you did, you were a big deal.
Yeah.
So when you have, life's a series of choices, okay? Every choice you make, even today, will affect what your life's going to be like. You'll do something today that will affect even a little bit incrementally, and
Right.
it'll turn you one way. But what you were about to decide in that moment was not it's not one of those, well, should I stay an extra night and therefore I'll meet an interesting person? No, this was a career shift from a sure thing to a gut feeling that you knew was real.
Yes.
How did you decide? Like, you knew it, but here you are. I got to pay my rent. I have to have insurance. There's a practical side.
Yeah.
How did you know enough to say, I'm doing it anyway?
That's a great question. So I had climbed the corporate ladder within cosmetics. And I should rewind and say, when I got into the cosmetic world, I didn't know that I could build a career out of it. I just liked making people feel pretty. I liked help. I went so long without having confidence that once I found out what confidence was, once I got a taste of it, I was like, everybody's got to feel this. This is so good. And so I got into makeup, and I would, I remember one of my first clients ever. She was a young girl, and she had cancer, and she'd lost her eyebrows. And I showed her how to put her eyebrows back on. And I saw her look at herself and see herself again. And that's what I fell in love with. And so when I got into the cosmetic world and I found out, hey, you can make money here and have a career here, I was a passion. It was my love. And so I'd worked my way up. I would have killed for the job that I had. Yeah. There were people lined up to kill for the job that I had. And I got to a place where I knew that if I didn't leave it, I would hate it. And I would have so much animosity.
You know.
And it's still easy. I had to pay rent, like you said. I lived in my dream neighborhood at that time. I drove my dream car. I had a little white Infiniti, a little sport coupe, cute. Lived in Hollywood, California. Could finally go to a restaurant and not have to be concerned with the price on the menu. I would just order. Like, it was my dream.
Yes, you had made it.
I'd made it.
Yeah.
And because I'd asked for it and I prayed for it, I couldn't admit to myself that it no longer served me. I couldn't admit to myself it was done. I'll never forget, one day I was in the restroom. I wasn't even using the restroom. I just needed 15 minutes to myself. Let me get away from these people for a second, girl. And I was going to spray water on myself to wake myself up, but I didn't want my eyelash to dangle. So I took a little water, I tapped it on my face, and I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, Tunde, girl, do you love this job or do you love the title? Do you love this job or do you love the respect? Do you really want this job or do you want it because everybody else wants what you have?
Those are good questions. Anyone can ask right now about their current job. Okay.
And I wanted it because everybody else wanted it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was the woman in charge. I liked it.
Okay. So you have a feeling Peloton is ringing your bell, or the cycling, and you go for a tryout. And I'm sure you crushed it.
Well, I will say this, because I also don't want to put the false narrative out there that I had this divine download of information, this blue light experience, and I knew. No, I still had imposter syndrome. I went back and I told my best friends, Christy and Max, I'm going to teach cycling classes. They start crying. I say, why are you crying? They say, Tunde, we've never heard of anything that sounds more perfect for you.
Oh, my gosh.
You've never even seen me do it. What do you mean it's so perfect for me? And they said, Tunde, I don't know. It just sounds perfect for you. And so my friend Max would ask me weekly, did you go and get your certificate to teach cycling? And I was like, no. Finally, after 6 months of that, I went and I got my certification. Mind you, they put you in a room for 8 hours.
Yeah.
So the certification sat and collected dust for months.
Okay.
Christy, the other person that I had told, literally at this time I had started taking cycling classes at a studio in LA. She pushed me into that owner. She literally physically pushed me into the owner so that I would ask the owner, hey, can I audition for you? And people say, what's the thing? Why wouldn't you audition? Because I've lived my life for so long hiding.
Yeah.
I didn't want people to see me.
Yeah.
I thought that no one would want to take my class because no one would look at me and find me aspirational or inspiring. Like, who would want to look at that on the bike? The sound of my voice is annoying. Who's going to want to listen to me for 45 minutes? I have nothing motivational to say. This was everything that I was feeding myself. And so because I was feeding myself and it was the only thing that I was eating and consuming, it became my life, my reality, my truth. And so finally I started working at the mom and pop shop. I will never forget, after my first audition, she says, I'm going to make you a star here. You're going to be great. I'd probably been there for a month, maybe 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
I get a DM from this guy. His name is Cody Rigsby.
Mm-hmm.
He has the blue
Yeah.
little checkmark certification on Instagram. He has maybe 3,500 followers at the time. And he says, we'd want to have a conversation with you about Peloton. At this time, I know what Peloton is because I've met Allie and I'd randomly maybe taken a Robin class in New York once. He says, I want to talk to you about Peloton. At first, my mom always, when I moved to LA, from Texas to LA, my mom told me there's going to be a lot of people who are going to offer you things. Don't believe them.
Okay.
So I said, this is, you get things from people on Instagram all the time.
No thanks.
The only reason I messaged him back was because of that blue check.
Yeah.
Shout out to Meta.
Yeah.
So we have a conversation. He says that I have to sign an NDA to continue the conversation.
Okay.
Hoda, I still don't fully believe him.
Yeah.
So I sign the NDA, but I scribble it and it's completely not legible.
You're like, this won't hold up in court.
It won't hold up in court. And I spelled Peloton wrong back in my email, not intentionally. If I were Cody, I would have said, this girl's not it. She's not the one. Yeah. Cody called me back. He says, hey, can you resend that? It is not legible. So I was like, oh God.
Okay, so you resent it.
So because I didn't want to sign this NDA, this thing that was maybe fake. I was scared. I didn't know if I was signing my life away. What? Yeah. So I signed the letter. I go out, audition. After my audition, Cody was in charge of hiring at that time. And the powers that be, they were opening the London studio at the time. That's how long ago this was. So Cody, after my audition, he comes in the room. And there was a maintenance person and a production assistant in the room. And the maintenance person, Cody's behind the maintenance person. The maintenance person is looking at me, beaming. I write about him. His name's Rich. He's in my book. Yeah. He's smiling cheek to cheek, and he's close. You dashed it, girl. Yeah. Yes. You did that for us. Yes, girl. I see you. So Cody's walking in, and Cody's very straight faced. Yeah. Cody says, it was a really good audition. He said, in fact, that was the best audition I've ever seen. I can't wait for you to work here. And then he smiles. And he says, listen, I'm not the ultimate decider here. Right. Right now, everyone's busy with London. Yeah. Don't even consume yourself with it. They'll watch your tape when they get back.
Yeah, all good.
All good. Cannot wait to train you. All I need is a week with you. Verbatim.
Done. Okay.
Hoda, if somebody said that to you about your dream premonition, blue light vision job, you're going to start looking for apartments, right? I walked out of that room. I also, at this point, I'm like, you're psychic. You called this, right? I call my best friends, Kim, Christy, and their mom, who's like a second mom to me.
To tell them the good news.
To tell them the good news. Got it. So we're all on 4-way. Kim and Christy are crying because they live in LA, and they're like, we're so sad you're moving. Miss you. Yeah. We're so happy. I got to the airport. Yeah. I ordered champagne and duck fat fries, and I celebrated. So some time passes. Every single time my phone buzzes for the next couple weeks, I think it's Cody Rigsby. Cody. My life was waiting for Cody Rigsby. Finally, one day I woke up early to an email from Cody Rigsby, and as I go to open the email, I know my life's about to change. Yeah. So I was actively taking snapshots and pictures of the moment. Yeah. And I'm laying in bed, and I perfectly position myself so I remember myself looking cute in the moment. And I opened the email. All I saw was the first line and the last line. First line, we regret to inform you. Oh. The last line, it was not a unanimous decision. He wanted me to know that he tried.
Wow. Now, so and I'm thinking about people listening to this, when you know something for sure in your heart, and you know it, and you believe it to be so.
To be certain.
And then somebody says, actually, no, not you. You're not what we're looking for. You're not good enough. Yeah. Why continue on this path if the powers that be told you no?
The beauty of uncertainty is infinite possibility. The beautiful thing about not knowing what's coming next is that anything could be next.
Even if they told you no,
when
not you.
you think that you know what's coming,
Yeah.
you are only looking for what is coming. Hoda, my life, like everything up until this moment and then the next moment, it's based on like data, right? Things are always working out in my favor. They are. And, I always say everything happens for a reason. People say, with all the loss you've experienced, how can you possibly still believe that? I think that everything happens for a reason. I would do anything for my family to be here. I would give it all away for them to come back. And in losing them, I have stepped into the greatest version of myself. We all have an expiration date. Unfortunately, theirs was too soon. And I could choose to live my life lost, sad, and not fully because of their absence. Or I can choose to live my life grand and extreme and fully because I've seen what it is to not fully get the chance to live out your life. In not getting that job, Hoda, the first time around, because people are always like, well, what did you do the first audition or the second audition that you didn't do in the first? Hoda, my first audition was better, girl. My first audition was better. I had a vision. It was supposed to be my job. I went in there confident. It was my job. The job was mine. I went in that room as though it was. The second time I was nervous, and so I stuttered, and I wasn't sure about my playlist, and I was thinking about all the reasons that they didn't hire me. I thought to myself, well, maybe I was too black the first time. I wore braids. Take the braids out. Be more like the consumer, right? Because I knew that the audience that Peloton was servicing, specifically 2018, 2019, it wasn't as homogenous, or it was more homogenous than it is now. And so I thought, okay, take your braids out. I thought to myself, I don't see anybody as muscular as me. Maybe I have too much muscle. Maybe I should lean out. Like, I thought about everything that I needed to change about myself for the second audition. I went in way less me. My first audition was better. Here's the lesson. Sometimes it is not that you are not ready for the opportunity of a lifetime. Sometimes it's that the opportunity of a lifetime is not yet ready for you. Sometimes it's not that you're not ready. Sometimes they are just not ready for you. I didn't get that job because they hadn't seen anyone that looked like me in the position, which is funny because, like, how are you supposed to do the thing if you hadn't do the dumb thing? The gift was the deciding factors then, would put me into the role. They had exited the company. And so the new leadership had come in. Hoda, the best gift. And I talk about that season of my life now, and people like Cody and Robin and Allie and Rich, that had fought for me and said, wait, did you see this audition? And then the way that hiring an instructor worked was it had to be unanimous. Everybody in the circle had to agree. If there was one vote against, the person didn't get hired. They wanted it was hard to get. People always say that then president, when I got hired, he said, we liken it to being a backup dancer for Michael Jackson. Like it was a coveted spot. Of course. And it still is. Of course. So sometimes it's not that the opportunity isn't ready for you. And so I know that if for some reason that if they had been able to convince the powers that be to give me this role, I know that I wouldn't have stood out as much as I have because the person, Jen Cotter, the woman that hired me into my position, she believed in me and she wanted me to be there. And, I remember it's funny because she had just started at the time too. And when you start a job and you hire somebody yourself, the first person you hire, you want them to do well, right? And so I think that, everything happens in divine timing. If I had been hired against will, I don't think that I would have been in a position to shine.
The timing was on point.
The timing wasn't there.
When I think about what happened as we wind this down, which I really don't want to, but as I see what happened to your life since Peloton. So Peloton You wrote
Changed my life.
Changed your life. You wrote a book.
Yeah.
Changed that book. That New York Times bestseller changed a lot of people's lives. Called Speak. If you haven't read it, pick it up. It's called Speak. You end up, Tyler Perry comes calling.
Yeah.
And he says, hey, how about acting? Why don't you come and join this show called Sisters? I mean, when you think about what has happened to your life as a result of all of your decisions, do you, well, two things, because people struggle with this. When you have loss, some people have trouble finding joy. When you have loss, like you had such great loss, they have trouble saying, oh my God, what a great season I'm in, because this terrible chapter has happened to me. How were you able to maintain what I see, which is this beautiful vibrancy, despite the pain that you've been through? And just tell me about how you see your life going forward.
So I was talking about just my physical appearance, right? And what my physical did to my mental, the power that my physical had on my mental. I'd never trade it. God knew what he was doing. Like, I am who I am. I'm exactly who I am because of every experience. I think, like, specifically, let's just talk about the work that I get to do at Peloton. Ultimately, you're helping people realize maybe a version of themselves that they wouldn't have dared to try to tap into. I get DMs all the time from women who say that, you know, I've had 5-pound weights and I've just bought my first pair of 20s and I've never lifted this heavy in my life. And that's amazing to help somebody tap into something, right? If it's somebody on a weight loss journey, just last week I had a guy who said he lost 50 pounds. He was 70 years old. And all I could think about was the extension of life. I thought to myself, wow, like, this is so much more than a workout, so much more than a bike, so much more than the tread, you know? So when I started working for Peloton, I'd have women DM me, specifically Black women, again, about your complexion, who their daughters looked like me. And they would send me pictures of their daughter while the mom was riding the bike, the daughter with her little braids staring up at the screen. And the mom would message me and say, she sees herself in you.
Wow.
Thank you. When I got signed to Nike, I was the first ever fitness instructor to bear the name Nike athlete, to take that name. That's a title that'll never erase, right? Nike. I thought to myself, this is so much bigger than you. Because in that moment, I knew that it would also open up space for more people in my field to be able to do the same work. With my book, I knew that telling my story of loss and stepping into myself through grief, I knew that, I hoped that it would connect with people. And I think because on the bike, people see my joy, or they feel levity. And to know there's so much darkness in the light, right? It wasn't just like dark and then going to light. There's so much darkness in the light. Like, I am light because I know how dark gets. And so when I have a day that's good, how great is good? How great is good? And then, you know, I'm even, you know, Sports Illustrated Swim. I walked down that runway at 40 years old. At 40 years old, as a young person, like, we were taught, like, when a woman turns 40, that's it. Baby, she just got started, Hoda. And so it's all of these, again, I said, like, my life is data. Everything is happening for me. 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 And I realize that my for me is not just for me. It's so that people that look like me, that move like me, that don't look like. What I do is also for the people that look opposite of me with red hair and red freckles. I want you to be able to see me in the same space as you so that you open the way that you show your children
It's
the
like,
way that people that look like me occupy space. It's like, it's so.
it's beautiful. It's just like, I mean, you put it so perfectly, but it's like not everything that's given to you is intended just for you. I mean, you are taking all these gifts, and if anyone looks and goes, oh, wait, Tunde's on the bike. I know what she went through. Look at her. Or Tunde, who didn't want to be in a bathing suit her whole life, walked down that Sports Illustrated runway. Right. That girl did that. Right. I mean, you're a perfect example of, if she can do that, then I can do this. If she can do that, I can do this. So whatever your this is, if you're listening, the thing that you think, can I get through this? How am I going to make it through this? Is it possible for me? You know, everything seems impossible right now. I can't get this thing. I think if anyone listens to your story and sees where you started and where you are today, I can only imagine in 10 years when you are on a podcast, on the Today Show, doing whatever you're doing, what incredible things will have happened to you in the next 10 years. Because look how you're living your life.
Thank you.
I mean, do you see when you think of your life, as we wind down, which I never will.
Don't wind.
Okay. When you think of yourself, do you see a partner? Do you see children? Because you envision your life.
Yeah.
What do you see? What does your vision look like for your life?
This is therapy.
Mm-hmm.
I think that our world is a matter of what we believe it to be, or what we believe that it can be. There's this book I'm reading. It's by Sean Aker. It's called The Happiness Advantage. Read it. It's so good. Just talks about the power of your thought and your belief. Mm-hmm. And I know that I have this really incredible power to manifest. Mm-hmm. And like kind of going back to like where I am in this space, my last single summer, I think that I've been in this space of just being so stuck in why not me? Like in this space of my life, there's so many beautiful things that are happening within my career, but why not my love life, my personal life? And I go down the rabbit hole. This is what's wrong with men right now. And there are so many beautiful, single, successful female friends, and all men are. I've been so fixated on like what's not and what's wrong with them or with dating in general that I haven't put like the light into just like focusing on clearing out the baby room, right? Like you did, like just like making space in my closet. Oh God, don't make me think about it. But like I my intention has like it's shifting. I feel it shifting. And so to answer your question, I don't know. I think I'm starting to get real with myself about what this next chapter looks like. I think I know I'm 40. Then you start doing math. Well, if I met somebody this year, and then I'm 42 and had my birthday at 43, and I started doing that, and I just tried to not. And like shout out to all the women. Like think of like even Anne Hathaway. She just came into my head because she's that gorgeous bump that she's sporting right now. Like women 40, 45 plus, 50 that are showing. You know, that it's age really is just like this number, and maybe we've all been fixated on too long. But I don't know. I think maybe that's why it's not here yet because I can't clearly see it yet. Yeah. Sometimes I think, you know, maybe I'll adopt. Like maybe that's my story. Sometimes I think maybe I'll have one. Maybe I'll have none. Maybe I'll just be this woman who has a last single summer for many summers and enjoys the company of whoever she's with. And then I think, no, like I dream about, not that I dream about hardships, but I do sometimes dream about working with a partner through challenge and difficulty. Yeah. And there's something that when you've been on your own for so long, there's a beauty, I think, in having a person that you do life with. And so I know that I want that. I see that clearly. I want somebody to do life with.
Good.
And if he's watching, which camera should I look into? Is this the light?
They're all
if
you.
He's watching, or if his sister's watching.
You are so crazy. By the way, I can envision it. It's very clear to me. Like your future is going to be rich and full, and you'll be changing the world one way or another. Whether it's through a family or whether it's through exactly what you're doing in this big, beautiful platform. Because maybe, you know, some people are meant to change many, many, many lives. Yeah. And that's the path. Okay. This is lastly. So this podcast.
Are we doing the room thing? You always do the room thing. Are we not doing the room thing?
Oh my God. I was going to do the room thing.
Okay, yes, we're doing the room. We're not doing the room thing. We're out of time.
No, we are never. Okay. No, we're doing the room thing. Okay. So it is one of my favorite questions. Okay. I love to ask it. And it is, okay, so close your eyes and imagine your childhood bedroom. Imagine what's on the walls, what's on the bookshelves. Are you sharing? Are you solo? But describe to me, are there trophies? Describe to me what you see.
There's no trophies. And I don't think there's anything on the wall. Mm-hmm. Maybe a Gloria Estefan poster, maybe. Mm-hmm. My sheets are Dylan from 90210, and they're glow in the dark. And it's not an actual comforter. My mom got them at Walmart for $1 a yard, and she sewed them to my comforter, and they glowed in the dark. I don't know that she should have, at that young of age, made a boy in my bed sheet, but I learned about myself. What else? When I was really, really young, I would always fall off the bed when I was sleeping. My mom was a nurse. So one day she brought home like the guardrails from the patient's bed and she put that on my bed. So that helped me to learn to sleep straight. So that is maybe on my bed or maybe it's tucked away under my bed. Mm-hmm. My closet's disgusting. I have so many shoes. I was the only person who had a room to themselves. So I was the only girl. Yeah, and it's...
Any books in there?
There's books, but again, my room's disgusting. But I was an avid reader. So yeah, there were books, lots of shoes. There still are a lot of shoes in my closet. You know what I'm realizing with my eyes closed here, Hoda? This closet thing has always been a problem for me. This closet thing, the way that you do anything is the way that you do everything. This closet thing has always been a problem for me. Oh my God, am I going to meet somebody when I clear out my closet?
Yes, that's what's happening. Okay, so this is our assignment for this. You're going to go into your closet and you're only going to find the things that you haven't worn in 5 years. Okay, you're just going to get rid of those. The ones that have the creases on the hanger because they've been hanging so long that when you take it off, you're like that. The one that you're like, no, but one day, we don't care. You're going to give it all away to Goodwill so you'll do something good with it. It's going to feel really good. Not much. A quarter of your closet. You're not getting rid. Yes, you can. Okay. 1/4 of your closet. You know there are blouses in there you haven't touched that you're going to wear one day. If you haven't worn them in a year plus, get a friend to help you. One of those besties you were mentioning, get one of them. You almost have to close your eyes. They're going to say, Tunde, I've never seen you wear this.
Right.
Aside. Right. Tunde, you keep saying you like this, but you don't like what the cut is. Goodbye. Right. Tunde, these shoes are uncomfortable. I don't care if you think you're going to wear them for one. Goodbye. Clear out that 1/4.
Okay.
Cody Rigsby and the rest of them might be right. Okay. You carve it out, and then we're going to revisit here in a year. We're marking this date on the calendar. We're going to come back again in a year.
I'm going to send you a picture.
Okay.
Hoda, I have to be honest really quickly. I just did this. I did. And I cleaned out my closet, and I got rid of like 30 pairs of shoes. I donated them. Hoda. What? It was a month ago. I bought probably.
Okay.
I filled it back up.
Okay.
I filled it back up.
We forgot the other part of the equation.
Okay.
The other part of the equation is once you take it out, every time you buy or get a new item, you remove one. Okay. 1 for 1, 1 for 1, 1 for 1. Okay. So the 4th is always open. Okay. And then 1 for 1. You can get your new shoes, give away a pair. You have to choose. You can't have it all. Okay. That's it. We're done. We got it. By the way, thank you. You were so fun. I mean, I knew it was going to be good. I just didn't know it was going to be this good. That was really good. Thank you, Tunde.
Thank you. You're so good. Thank you, Hoda.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.